Welcome everyone to our live Linux distribution development today from most advanced ARM highest performance silicon, because obviously even QEMU TCG tiny code generation a little bit lacking to be desired even on Ryzen 7 7950X. So let's use native ARM for testing. Sudo QEMU arch for ARM arch 64 virt and stuff virtualized. Also missing better than some passwords, so somehow this does not pick up the CD-ROM. I probably should fix that. Obviously, naturally, each bug is not a good bug. Let's see what happens. Not done this in a long time, so let's see what bugs we find and how snappy it is. If it is snappy, let's see what possibly could go wrong. Okay, it's not super ideal. I'm not really. Why is this VDA? Actually, wait, do I still? What do I even do there? Or is this here? Oh no, this is our. Okay, not really sure why I thought dash CD-ROM. Maybe the QEMU does special things. Anyway, good. Then this is our. I mean, should I theoretically? I mean, I should not really have something on this, so I guess why bet all? What could possibly go wrong live here on this channel? This is M1 Max. I'm cheap. I do not buy. Like last time I brought an Apple machine was 7 years in between. It's still M1 Max, but minimal architecture improvements. Who cares? EFI, better FS. So far, so good, I would say. So we're mostly after raising whether our binaries work. Yesterday we fixed some last-minute bug. Other viewers tested that on some Apple Silicon with didn't sound that wrong. Silicon, I believe in parallels, they said in our Discord. And yeah, I of course open source homebrewing macOS. That is of course QEMU previous video homebrewed with our T2 sources, because not only do we use T2 to rule all ISOs, we also use T2 to rule all homebrew. Coming next to you soon. I mean, this is not that much slower than Ryzen 7 7950X though, right? But of course, installer not embarrassingly parallel, so building stuff will be slightly slower. Grub, as usual, some Ethernet if you want to test something. SSH we don't need now. Yeah, our installer also came a long way, right? Everything more amazing. But if you shall subscribe, we can also swap our M1 Max, also some of this. I mean, yeah, we could do this manually, which is also somehow, I don't know what is up with this bloody QEMU thing here, because whatever this first thing is, maybe the first thing is a flash, but the first thing does not work for some reason. Yeah, I probably should really fix our grub building. I really wonder what precisely we messed up. So this should work. I just wanted, also you probably don't see one line, right? So let's, with my precious 19 by 10 screen. We could give it a short performance evaluation. Yeah, that is how snappy T2 Linux is on ARM 64 Apple Silicon. Nearly as thread-ripping as AMD Ryzen certainly needs a little bit less power, because I think my 1750X fully loaded uses 250 or so watts. But we have, of course, 35 ISO variants to build. So 10 little bit subversion, clone later, emerge. I mean, we could, if we wanted to really see, because it would be the most apples to apple comparison. Also running virtualized. Fun fact, I of course can natively boot my M1 MacBook. I've done that when it was new, when Arch Linux was new, over 2 years ago. And fun fact, I set up QEMU so a little bit Frankensteinish, because I don't want to waste that much space, because obviously Apple SSD silicon highly overpriced, more than double, if not in the meantime triple market value of their really overpriced custom proprietary SSDs, of which you can never have enough. So I set up my Mac partitions, my native Apple container partitions, so that I can natively boot T2, not Asahi. Of course, they always say they're just a patch and hardware reverse engineering, not meant to be a distribution is it, right? Although people always say ASI. T2 flavor of course, supporting Apple ASI Silicon. And Qemu I then run so that I Frankenstein Qemu very specifically on that one partition with another. So basically directly that native raw NVMe partition that I would also boot natively with another EFI preload device. Let's see, so that does not look that much smaller, at least, slower. Ah, man, it's been a long year and week and stuff, and thanks God it's Friday already, Captain. If this is 36 seconds, which I believe it's probably not, it would be amazingly fast. I guess this estimate is a little bit off for some reasons. Maybe because on 1750X bin utils natively or virtualized Qemu takes 30, maybe virtualized 32 seconds, so most likely that should be a little bit slower, but I mean not that much. I mean for mobile silicon stuff with a TDP less than 200 watt, it's, yeah, if you want to save the world and not use so much electrons for your computing needs. Anyway, pretty good, of course, faster than PS3 unfortunately, and like, yeah, I mean it is slower, right? We could compute that of so that is 49 out of, so it's virtualized, let's give it 32 with a scale of some things like 50% slower for, what is it, 45-ish watt fake TDP, whatever Apple is using. Anyway, so that works, amazing. I expected that, so this was basically just testing to make sure that works. And natively it's a little bit faster because I mean, not only virtualization overhead, which should be minimal, although on macOS you never know, but virtualization on macOS only can pass, at least the last time I tried, I mean, we could try now. And yes, navigation, I secured shout in here from my, I'm live streaming from desktop, T2 freaking desktop Linux, because obviously OBS and desktop audio and live streaming better on a Steam Deck than on native macOS. Anyway, but media. The last time I tried this didn't work. Let's see. The last time it said it cannot pass. Oh wait, this works now? How does this work now? So last time it complained that it can only pass through 8 CPUs. That is interesting. Maybe something changed. Either Qemu is faking some different stuff now, or Apple really with some OS update. Oh, this also works? This is strange. Okay, then I don't know what is going on there. Anyway, we could test that in a second. Let's use 10. We want to test the other ISOs. The other ISOs were broken yesterday. So that is minimal musil also. Let's maybe test that first. And yeah, somehow we need, I don't know. Terminal was probably irritated as, yeah, terminal was in some raw mode, whatever. Yeah, I probably should fix this. This is a little bit unfortunate. It's always one more thing to fix. Anyway. You run Linux directly on RAM1. Not right now, but otherwise I do. The thing is I don't really, so I need to figure out if there is a way to make dual booting more comfortable. Like I can boot it natively, I just don't do daily. Because I need macOS for our commercial software, right, which you can recommend or and so on, recommend me of our paperless office stuff that you make unfortunately more money with than with T2 desktop Linux yet. So yeah, that is why otherwise I would obviously not use that. So to torture myself earning money, I actually run macOS natively. Sometimes between my live streams here on this channel. So because the last time I checked, you had to go into the system and toggle the boot stuff there. So basically, like, I need to Google, I mean, we could do that in a moment, but I need to Google if dual boot switching in the meantime is more comfortable than spending, because some also this boot toggling whatnot stuff is super slow, whatever it verifies. It also, first you need to boot into this, whatever they call it, not Mac OS, one true recovery OS. and select boot stuff. So basically it takes, the last time I tried it takes 5 minutes. So I usually just run it in Qemu from the same partition. So let's try Musel. Let's see if that yesterday's fixes, More Life channel fixed everything, because we have an OS to release. The only thing is I probably should fix this stupid, how could this be? How and why? Annoying, always one more thing. But yeah, performance obviously not too bad for that. I mean, yeah, it's just what I said for 20 years. This is a known bug. We will tackle that another day. It's just cosmetic. You can share, like, and subscribe to fix this bug. Or Musel implementation deficiencies. Or feature. Something of that sort in order. It's like, yeah, installing Apple Silicon as fast as on Epic thread-ripping Ryzen. Network, please. We can be nice and test if it actually... Why do I do this? I could skip this, but actually once upon a time, it's actually a good idea to test whether we do kexec. Does this work? Okay, kexec somehow does not work. So that's unfortunate. Probably we should add this to our... is this on? Because I suspend tested that a couple of times today. To disk, because yeah, Ryzen 7 FFX suspending to memory is somehow stable. It works 98% of the time, but usually when I'm not in the office, it doesn't wake up from memory, which somehow sucks, which is like once a week. So theoretically, and that is like why I'm begging you constantly to share, like, subscribe, Patreon and GitHub sponsorship, because check kexec on ARM 64, at least Qemu, I would think that should work, but somehow currently doesn't. And also check kexec on PPC, like basically any. I have no idea if this ever worked on like Apple Macintosh, at least like G4, that would be interesting, but definitely PS3, because the last time I tried our latest kexec, like our upstream, as much as we already fixed it, but the last time I tried it didn't kexec on PS3, which obviously is the one true important use case, right? Yeah, it's also the wrong one. By the way, you can on EFI, you can on EFI exit that, in case you didn't know. This is a hard drive. Whatever Qemu is doing there. Maybe I should check if changing that to BIOS changes something. I believe, I'm not sure if the CD stuff, maybe that is some, what did we install, Musel or? So that is Musel now. So the point of testing that is, yesterday details were broken, right? GCC 2024 GCC doesn't even install in such a way that it would just work, because software difficult, but now it does. Whatever variant that was, we will check in a second. And we could also... So basically we do the same again for one thing to check if... because one thing is, first compiling that, right? 25 years of bug fixing to support all CPU architectures the newest kernel ever supported. We're still not there yet. Shall I subscribe for more crazy architectures to come? But then it's also like compiling that is one thing, creating a bootable ISO is another thing, and then installing it to fully work natively is yet another thing, right? Which yesterday didn't. So let's force bin utils again, just for good measure. I believe we should also, we have tmux, right? So what did I, no, I didn't run this in tmux. That is not, no, I also, that's ideal. Qemu monitor switch back. What was switch back? Was it Control A? Damn it. I always forget. I believe switching was AC, right? What is switching? What was switching back? And no, it's not Control Alt. Darn it. I'll just enter. Maybe that was easy. Because all I wanted was Control Z, but somehow what is Control Z? Darn. Maybe some macOS Secure Shell PTY that comes from not using reliable, just working T2 Linux as your host OS, but some lesser thing. Okay, that appears to build though. I mean, we could, yeah, we will check in a second which build it was. I believe it was, yeah, it was Musel, because the FS-tab display was whitespace irritated, as it is on Musel for whatever whitespace. I have no idea what goes wrong there. It's been since that for ages. Probably it's time to tackle that soon. Usually Musel is slightly slower, at least on x86. Let's see if Rolly done that, but what did we had a second ago? Something similar, right? Not too dissimilar. Let's see. We can also somehow the terminal is no, we switched, or still did we? Maybe this was still running on the same. Can we? So it's AC, right? This AC are just AC toggles this? Okay, that is good to know. Good, okay, finally we figured that out. Emerge, it's like, yeah, you Google it, Google in 2020 for what to expect. Just image neofetch for good measure. Actually, so now we have 10 threads. Actually, that is interesting. We passed through 10 threads. I wonder that I mean, but maybe Qemu is doing some multiplexing shenanigans. Because the last time I checked, macOS only passed through or did virtualize the performance cores, not the, efficiency cores. Good, that worked. So all our efforts pay off eventually. So that was generic Musel. Yeah. Good. That was Musel. Let's try, last but not least, Clang. So that would be glibc Clang. So of course all those different builds exhibit different bugs and test different code passes. So not GCC Clang, ARM Clang. Still could. The names are auto-generated. I still could polish them a little bit. That shit. Terminal is in some absolute positioning, whatever mode. Yeah, I probably should fix this grub config thing. That is, of course. Oh wait, somehow I booted the wrong. Was it the last for? It was the last. Of course it was the last. Yeah, I should fix this expansion. This is, of course. If you have not noticed, there's always one more thing. It should also, like that, work in Microsoft Windows Subsystem for Linux on ARM 64, in case you were wondering. Probably should try that another day. To torture ourselves and silence us. So, by the way, I contacted Apple. They have their clause. They have the theoretically to publish write them an email for approval, which is rather silly, instead of just submitting that somewhere there was. I wrote them to whatever Microsoft stored whatever stuff of, hey, we have here this 25-year established Linux distribution, would like to, previous video, be in your amazing Microsoft store. And as expected, I've not heard back from them in 2 weeks or so, right? So much to, if you want to publish a Linux distribution in the Windows store, just drop us emails. Like, yeah, the email is deaf. No, thank you very much. As to expect. And that is also the walled garden of guarding for the safety of children bloody app stores. I mean, not only ridiculous to publish Linux distributions in another vendor store, and then you don't even get approval. So maybe this is outdated information, which even wasn't this one, right? Maybe they just approve it when we submit it. I've not submitted it yet because they wrote there, if you want to publish a Linux distribution, write us first. I wrote them first, heard nothing back. Thanks. That is basically the App Store experience, right? Because previously in dark times we had our apps in the App Store, but Apple took 30% off from us, which adds up a little bit. So made Apple some 100,000 euro richer, yay. Which we now don't have to buy Vision Pro or MacBook M3 because Apple took 30% of our hard-earned money. Amazing, right? That's what all the Apple fans love. So much. So yeah, yesterday's bug fixes, we fixed some bugs. This is CC should be Clang, right? So that is glibc Clang that apparently target arch Clang stuff, amazing things. Somehow this strange little tiny YouTube channel gets everything to work, including ARM, 2, RISC-V, and of course x86. This achievement of having one Linux distribution to rule all CPU architectures and run on all your hardware from SGI to Octane PS3, I can tell you, priceless. Let's emerge that too, just for good measure. Scripts emerge force. I need to force this because it's already installed, so if we want to rebuild that, I'll say, yeah, okay, probably we should actually avoid those warnings there. I don't see them so often. It's like, yeah, it's, could argue, cosmetic. It's, on the other hand, maybe we should simply patch the -s warning. I find it a little bit ridiculous. If it's GCC, this doesn't warn, and I checked that once upon a time. I believe decades ago, GCC generated smaller stripped files already, I believe. But yeah, maybe we should. I mean, yeah, it just adds up a little bit. It's of course mostly cosmetic, so YOLO, I guess. Anyway, 0 frames. That is good. Question there, is Qemu using Rosetta underneath? No, not directly. This is of course native ARM, right? So there is no Rosetta stuff. Rosetta is only actually better to call that Rosetta 2, because the old Rosetta was in 2006-ish, right? For the initial Rosetta version 1 that was licensed from Transitive or so technologies. Virtualizing or translating PowerPC to x86. That is Rosetta 2, not 1, not to confuse that. And no, it's so this Qemu is native, right? This is native. We want to test ARM, and obviously that would take hours, if not days, to run on TCG, tiny code generation stuff on x86, which is why I naturally run this on ARM. I don't have that much ARM silicon here, because again, Apple took hundreds of thousands of my money. Not that much left, unless you shall subscribe Patreon. Viewer donated 2 or so, already 3 years ago, PinePhone, which is amazing, which we've used for testing, but obviously Apple Silicon performance so much higher, right? So Clang, similar ballpark of performance, 38, 39, so all performance. Also Clang, I said this before, people always believe Clang so much faster. Yeah, more. Not really. Neo fetch, just for why not. And so yeah, nowadays after a decade of optimization and feature support parity, 2024 Clang is slow as GCC, because a decade ago it was twice as fast. Now it is the same slow. Good, we tested all kinds of stuff. That is good to know. So basically the only thing left is to shut this down and probably kind of sort of debug why. Where would that be? So that is back on Epic Threadripping Horizon with native T2 Linux. And so the one last bug, except the 667 in my to-do file, would be, where did we script that? Where should we expand this? Here? Okay, probably here. And I mean, we could hardcode that, which probably would be so. Do we have an compressed image for ARM? Probably have, right? ARM version 7. Okay, now we have 6, but it doesn't matter. Boot. Do we have compressed images there somehow? What did we even boot? Do we have other images for 64 versus? What have we here? Okay, it's just okay. Somehow we have differently compressed images for reasons that I currently don't remember. So that is image gset or here we have set image. Maybe I did this. Maybe I should actually take a look into our do we have custom coded that? So we have ARM here, somehow we custom YOLO ARM stuff. What's that build? So the kernel builds that. The question is, does the kernel not build it for? Alright, it probably would only build this if we specify it anyway. What does the kernel build for? So there are always historic reasons why this stuff is like that, right? ARM version 7. What the historic bootloaders at the time were able to load and stuff. So if you're wondering why are all the decisions so strange, that is why. Yeah. So if you just have image, it doesn't build, so it object copies this kernel together. The question is, so this is probably why you star there and never check that it doesn't evaluate, which is how do we do this now? Either we check if we can build a compressed image, or I slightly wonder, so for risk 5, we have, okay, we directly use that. Yeah, such kind of things are always annoying. It's of course super trivial thing, but nonetheless it just is annoying that every platform boots somewhat differently due to historic different development and constraints. We can't even ls that, I mean, unless we go to the directory. It's of course funny that for ARM it would take longer to boot than for 32-bit ARM. Okay, so the kernel does not by itself build it for whatever reason. Because we probably don't specify. Yeah, we don't explicitly specify it, so the kernel decides in its kconfig and make file itself what it wants to build there. So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's super annoying. The thing is, I really hate scripting annoying things, right? Oops. Why is that? Where do I have that? Oh, here. Oh, there I have that. The question is, I mean, now we have that in there already. Nah, this is so annoying. So we would need probably, okay, if we can probably fix that by, it's a little bit ugly though. We need to cd into some directory where we have that. Like here. So this is boot. Oh, this is also an absolute path, right? There, it's super hacky. I mean, maybe the easiest then is to simply, instead of doing hacky conditional stuff in there, just if exist compressed version, use that. That might be if iso dir okay, also then local image, yeah, equals that. And if iso dir, because this has already parse, not that it would matter, but if it exists with gsets, then use gsets. This is probably the least hacky way to do that. Yeah, basically like that, that probably should do. Let's test it. Citan SDN writes, yeah, don't mail them, just make a dev account. And yeah, just make a dev account, only cost you some 99 euro. But to be fair, at Apple only one time, not yearly. At Apple, of course, did I say Apple? At Microsoft only one time apparently. But the thing is also, I'm not even, because I mean, they have even two different accounts, right? I mean, it's also a thing like just make a dev account. It's like just registering as a proper company because they have like individual, like that's also the thing, right? Do I then register as individual developer just to test it, or do I go the full-blown way? Like normally the right thing to do would be to register as a real company here of mine. And then it's already more paperwork, right? Then I sit already the whole afternoon of filling out, registering stuff, filling out paperwork, and I mean, not only to give them $99, it's like giving Microsoft money to be able to list your Linux distributions there. And maybe get, like, yeah, need to sell, like, if we even sell it for $9.99, then we need to already sell 9 freaking licenses plus overhead just to make this money back that we have. Like, yeah, make Microsoft rich with this publishing your Linux distribution trick in the Microsoft store. Oh. That's why all in all I'm not that in a hurry to do that. M1, no, M1 Max, M1, what is it? MacBook Pro 14 inch or whatnot, M1 Max. With a little bit more, I think. The thing is, this thing was freaking expensive, right? I mean, sure, the performance is 50% slower than my Ryzen, but my 1750X was literally cheaper, right? Even with 96 gigs of memory and 2 SSDs. Okay, launch day CPU. Yeah, but even I paid launch day prices as a AAA YouTuber, aspiring YouTuber here. So, okay, the board was fucking expensive, 600 whatever. The CPU obviously $299 on launch day, although I get VAT back in Germany. So minus 20%, 19%. Memory, some whatever 500, that was like literally the freaking Ryzen workstation was cheaper than my M1 Max, right? Which probably was 3,000 whatever. Because obviously as a developer, a little bit memory, I didn't even max it out, right? Because I'm not MKBHD or iJustin or whatever. I mean, like here, 2024, iJustin maxes out her collection of dozens of Macs, and I, as a professional application developer and Linux distribution, I mean, I upgrade the memory a little bit, probably not like maybe 32 gigs or whatever. I mean, obviously, I don't even want the freaking, I mean, it was years ago. At Apple stuff, probably they still offer this with 8 gigs of memory, right? Don't they? It would not surprise me if they still have, oops, that, is this here even? Of course, I have another generation, but just illustration purposes only. Yeah, with totally garbage specs, it's like due. And totally garbage specs except the display, which is of course hilarious, right? Why does this not load? 0 frames, so maybe everyone. So this one here, just M1, and I went with the more portable version. Yeah, only up to what? Why do they? I lost over. I wait, 15 inch. What even is? Ah, this is Air. Ah, what is confusing? I wanted. Anyway. Yeah, I didn't max it out because I'm not rich and I don't want to give Apple that much money. So, what is your memory? 8 gigs. Some of the page looks strangely partially loaded. I don't know. Or this is normal. I don't know. I don't regularly process it. Just, oh, why is this so slow? Internet. Transatlantic internet. Let's hope Russia's subs are not sitting on some cables. Let's build, what did we rebuild? Clang, ARM, 64, Clang, Toolchain, ISO, FS, boot, grub, config. Yay, now we have image. And so basically we need to unfortunately rebuild all ISOs, which is obviously better than shipping something that doesn't just work. So internal build all. I mean, this will not build anything except the ISO. So architectures, that without, I mean, I should have slightly done it differently, but I should also reverse delete this. Now your command line stuff. Sleep. Oh, I don't know. Doesn't. Yeah. So all those arches with nearly no sleep because it's not building anything. It's just rebuilding the ISOs with the grub configs. That doesn't suck. Why is this shit not loading? Apple, you had one job. Is everyone browsing your... So like, yeah, this is big mega corporations. Like if their stuff doesn't work, then their stuff doesn't work, right? It's like everything hosted on Facebook, single point of failure. 2024, they don't even want to sell you. Why is this loading so shitty? What's wrong with you? Choose. Apparently Apple knows the best Mac for me is none. Thank you very much. Let's see if their German store works. They probably have similar offers just at a higher price to rip us off. To make Americans richer again. We Europeans can always pay more. Let's see what they offer in freaking Germany. Unless it's broken the same. I mean, it looks so strange. Maybe it's using some... What is it doing here? Open image in new tab. The freaking GIF? GIF base? Data? What? Do they freaking really use a GIF there? No idea what's up there. Either they use strange stuff that doesn't work in my Firefox. Can't order Mac from. All I wanted to check was a bloody memory configuration. Anyway, whatever I've chosen there, I didn't max it out. The usual, just a little bit more memory because 8 gigs suck, and a little bit more storage because 512 or whatever their minimal base was. Why does it rebuild something? What? Our client? Somehow I over deleted something, I guess. Probably have to claim config here now. Let's try that again. ARM, I still have this wrong. Probably because I didn't rerun this. ARM64, so much to know your command line usage and actually freaking check it. That probably should be right. At 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can never have too many ARM configurations. Anyway, we tested stuff. It is working. We fixed that. Yeah, people lol there. Half a gig of memory storage in 2014. Yeah, but this stuff is, I pointed this out before, right? I probably should make a dedicated video. I mean, even here freaking PC SSDs, the prices are so down. I even have spares on my desk. What even was it? It's like, yeah, when it was new, it was twice market value. In the meantime, it is probably more than 3 times market value, or even more. If just they would show me their bloody sales website. I'm really curious what their current... But yeah, 2024, everyone is using a Chrome and WebKit-based browser, and when you browse it with Firefox, Linux, the bloody website doesn't fully load. Quality engineering at its finest. I mean, crazy that all the other freaking graphics work and the store side not. Anyway, what is here the freaking... Also super misleading, right? Totally dark patterns even from Apple, over advertising their shit to sell it, because from 1600 plus tax, yeah, the only amazing thing by default is the display and the CPU, and then up to, right? It's like you think, hey, for that money you get that. It's like, no, for that money you get the smallest stuff, which is probably 8 gigs, and it's like, yeah, what is even 300? Here is storage. Okay, maybe they increased it in the meantime. Probably when, yeah, but anyway, half a gig now. But that is certainly a little bit misleading. And yeah, 18. Now I wonder how much do I really only have 16 gig? That's the crazy stuff, right? My old Retina MacBook Pro from 7 years ago, my last machine before that, which I obviously used until it's currently falling apart, had already 16 gigs of memory, right? I guess, probably. And that was 8 years ago. And now the base config for high-end stuff is 8 gigs. It's like, yeah. I really wonder if what I have there. Because I don't even quite remember. Anyway, that's it for this video. We fixed even more stuff. Hey, some more people tune in. That is also amazing. Okay, maybe we then, as so many people tune in, we continue a little bit with more live stuff. You see, it's so easy to motivate me. Just some share, like, subscribe, maybe Patreon or super thanks. And more stuff we do, because last but not least, we should check that. Where is our, which terminal did I do that? Maybe in ISO. Where did I do that? Probably here. Let's VI on all those files, which should be 6, I believe. On all ARM grub configs, 1, 2, 3 only. Should this not be 6? Okay, let's see. Ah, this did not yet. Good that we check that. Is something still running? Okay, something is still running. ARM64 for some reason. Okay, somehow we rebuilt the Linux kernel. I mean, yeah, it is possible. I remember I might have accidentally triggered a build I didn't want to trigger. Let's disable that. So we had ARM, Clang, Musel, should be 6 though, which is missing. Here. Somehow there is one missing. ARM, Clang, Musel, okay, so there is, darn. Okay, the big Endian variant doesn't have grub support. Do we have then an ARM, ISO ARM version 6 EB? Alright, this is T2 ARM version 6 EB. Okay, we have that. Okay, at least that. It's not directly bootable because we don't have grub for that. I mean, maybe I should somehow to do 667. So somewhere there of fix grub 2 for ARM EB big Endian. Good, that's it then for this video, I guess. Actually, or did I even? We have at least one more to build, right? Let's probably all the other build except ARM64, which I probably trashed the config previously. Let's give that one more try. And what email did I got now? Something important. If I would see where the bloody notifications is. Okay, fine, whatever. Yeah, we actually test this stuff. So coming next, not only microkernel, because now our Linux distribution is in amazing shape. Of course, we will have to continue to maintain it, probably at a slightly slower pace, like instead of a daily vlog or two, only a weekly Linux development vlog or two. So a little bit less overloading you and YouTube with this development content. Microkernel, but also more unit testing, right? So in the future, we don't want to manual unit test this stuff. In the future, all our build stuff needs to run continuous integration checks and make sure that this stuff is bootable without manual intervention. That is coming next. So that is now gset, gset Clang, gset Musel, and for ARM. Okay, amazing. So one last thing here for our ARM boot stuff. Fixed ARM, arch, ARM boot, glue to grub config to expand gset for ARM64. It's probably precise enough. That's it for T2 fixing today. You have amazing releases there on our release thread where we will continue to compile release information. I have also some ISOs to sync. I hope you just learned something. Apple Silicon Performance Matrix, that you can run Qemu on that, of course, too, and that it is unfortunately or fortunately, depending on which side of the peak bugs and Apple fandom you stand. Don't forget to share, subscribe, maybe leave some token of appreciation on Patreon, and I hope to see you soon for all the next fun and microkernel stuff to come. What else do we have there? Making money, Tui writes, making money in Apple ecosystem is easier due to rich users. Yeah, kind of, sort of, maybe. Certainly more accepted than Microsoft Store. I mean, I never used the Microsoft Store. I rarely even purchase Microsoft software. I mean, yeah, except back in the day when stuff was in disks and boxes. But leave in the comments below how intensively you use the Microsoft Store. Asian writes, Apple is likely the worst corporation, but they're also the richest. So yeah, that is sad but true. I mean, maybe not the worst. Arguably, maybe historically Microsoft was worse. So Microsoft had worse business ethics and worse software and hardware. So not the worst. Maybe the second worst or third worst. There's also Elon Musk failing businesses and stuff. So, like, have you seen how locked in Teslas are and what build quality they are and stuff? Yeah. So yeah, see you next time. People have FOMO. See how everyone is getting Vision Pro is wired thing. What do you mean with everyone? I have not seen many who got Vision Pro. And previous video, I don't believe in its immediate future, but time will show. See you next time.